Who needs crack when you have orange Tic Tacs?
So hi YouTube, Mr. Man here. I've been interested in making this video for quite a while.
Now you can ask yourself, what is that video on? Well, it's about this little knife. Well, not necessarily this specific knife. Well, yes, this specific knife, but you get what I'm saying. I kind of went into a little bit about my thoughts on Raven Crest. A little bit. I don't like to bash on companies, so I haven't made a full-fledged video on it, but I've been interested in taking this guy apart because A, I don't carry it, B, it's easy to take apart because it only has 6 screws, and anything easy I'm all for. And second, I've been interested in seeing the inner workings of an OTF. I figure instead of destroying my Infidel or Ultratech, I figured I'd tear apart this little Raven Crest tactical knife that I really don't care about if it blows up or if I lose it in a river. So we'll get to kind of see what's going on inside there. Maybe maybe have it a little informative, maybe accidentally slice myself open, like horribly. But yeah, so this is gonna be a pretty interesting adventure for both of us. So stick along for the ride. It's gonna be a ride, all right? It's gonna be a ride. All right, time for a little bit of surgery on this guy. As you can see, double action OTF. Now, I've seen deconstruction videos on these before. I think Raven Crest actually has a video showing how to take this apart. So it would be informative if I was to look that up right now, and I'm not going to because hell of it. But I'm gonna have to find the right bit. So, probably T8, I'm going to assume. Nope, not a T8, dang, T7? And let me try T6. Actually feels like a T6, all right, let's go with the T6. If we strip the screws out, hell of it, I don't care. So before we actually get the main screws out, I'm gonna take the pocket clip off, which this is really simple. It's a quick little, you can actually do it with your hands, just take that off, the little glass breaker piece, and a pocket clip, and you're all set. And I just lost a glass breaker. Uh-oh. We're losing pieces already. This is off to a grand start. Okie dokie. So, let's take these 6 screws out, and we'll see what's inside. Doesn't actually feel like these are Loctited in at all, and I'm gonna need someone to put these so I don't lose them. So, we're gonna use a MechForce Delta Core as a tray. That is the most expensive screw tray in the world. Yes, you need a MechForce Delta Core if you're gonna take this apart. You need to spend $160 on a fidget spinner so you have a tray to put your screws in. I'm taking these out all wonky. Do I even know what I'm doing? Wait a second, didn't I already oh, I thought I already took that one out. I'm like taking these out backwards. This shows you how organized I am. Uh-oh. It's stuck. And as you can see, you can't see if it would focus, but there's no Loctite on these. Which, they should put Loctite on their screws, just saying. We're not off to a grand start here, but you know. Uh-oh. So if anybody has any info or any experience with Raven Crest Tactical, I'd like to hear down in the comments. This is the only Raven Crest I own. I don't have a ton of experience with their knives, so I'd like to get some input if people have used them heavily, if they haven't. Like I said, this isn't a company review. I don't want to bash a company about a bunch of info, but it's one of those, oh dang it, okay, we have springs and there's a blade and it's right by my hand. Let's not cut ourselves here. But any input, just say it down in the comments. My comments are free. You can put whatever you want there. All right, now I don't know. I might open this up and a blade might come flying out. So, you know, let's hope it doesn't. Okay, nothing popped out. I'm very impressed with that. So, I think I see what's going on here. Well, here's one handle side, which is basically just like a milled out, I don't know what sort of steel they use. It looks like steel, just kind of all milled out. You got all your little channels and stuff in there, and like, I'm not the best at explaining how these things work, but they do work somehow. Let's get this guy out. All right, here's your trolley system. I do know that your button connects to this, and it's on the blade, and basically when you're pushing this forward, this spring, or this little latch, grabs onto the back of the blade and starts stretching. And then once it gets to a certain point, this trolley unlocks somehow and then flies forward, or I don't know, there's better explanations on YouTube here, but so basically you have your little trolley with your spring on it here, which we're not going to explain how it works anymore because I don't know, I'm stupid. But yeah, so it's one little, it's 4 pieces actually. If you spring your 2 little latches there on your trolley system, which we're gonna put back together so we don't screw this up. Ugh, come on, stretch, do it! There we go. I'm gonna put that trolley system to the side. As you can see, here's our button, a little metal button piece. And inside here you have your little latch gates, or your little locking latch gates there, up top and bottom. And those are what trolley hits, I believe. I said I'm not gonna explain this, now I'm explaining again, but like that's, I believe, what they hit. And then it just engages, I don't know, it's something like that. And you have your blade here, which is locked in by one of those gates. So you have to push, and then your blade will come out. And see right there, the other lock just engaged, so it won't go back. And your blade comes out. I mean, that's actually, that's a pretty hefty blade right there. That's as far as size-wise goes. I mean, it's one piece, you know, there's really nothing to break on this, so. And you have this little stop pin. And yeah, that's pretty much it. There's only, let's count the amount of parts like that can come out. So you have your pocket clip, your last, so 1, 2, 3, like 10 main parts for your whole knife here. I mean, yeah, there are the little gates and stuff. If you wanted to disassemble this a little bit farther, you could. I'm not going to do that. Overall, a pretty simplistic design. It's kind of actually nice seeing this thing apart. And like I said, there are way better explanations here on YouTube. Go check one of those out because I am a moron and I am a terrible teacher. I cannot explain anything. So don't come to me for advice or explanations or anything, because I will lead you astray, so far astray. You'll end up doing open heart surgery when you came to figure out how to take a knife apart. So let's see if we can get this guy back together. Should be a piece of cake, but I didn't have the coffee jitters and wasn't trying to do this behind the camera. So when you go to put your blade in here, pop this little latch here up. Slide your blade all the way back. Use this snub. Don't push it with your finger. There you go. So that's in. So the next part, we're gonna put in this little gate, this little trolley system. I think we have to make sure that this tab, if I had it zoomed in where you could actually see what the hell's going on, this tab is hooked into this notch back here. Maybe, possibly. Hook it in and just make sure that you're hooked over this little nub there is over that nub. There's a lot of nubs in this thing, kind of weird. Put the button on, it just has a little slot and it goes into this, there's like a little, I don't know, it might be on this side. Yeah, there's like little channels milled out. Focus, dang it. Little channels milled out on this edge right here, which is in shadow now, awesome. My camera work sucks, but hook that right in there. So it should be set in pretty flush. Don't push forward on it because your blade will probably go flying. So make sure that's set in there. And you take your second handle piece and sandwich it in there. This might take a second. Hang on. This will be hilarious if I end up cutting myself. And then it's just a matter of getting your screws back in. If I didn't lose my driver. I wouldn't recommend over tightening these, and I probably should have put some Loctite on these, but screw it. My Loctite is buried somewhere. I think the only Loctite I have was from a Sabenza. They like include a free tube of Loctite. So I'm just like, oh, Loctite, yay. All right, it's together, moment of truth. Let's see if it works. Yeah, there we go. It's a little stiffer than, it took a second at first because it was a little stiff, but everything's fully functional. Let's get that pocket clip on there. Pocket clip is not proven to be the hardest part. Dang it. Screw on there. Come on. What the hell? There we go. All right, and you got yourself a fully functional knife now. So yeah, fully functional now. It's kind of interesting. It was nice seeing the inner workings of an OTF actually. They're not as complicated as people think. Like, a lot of people think that like there's a little wizard inside here that like moves the knife in and out and like it's black magic and all this stuff. But when you actually break one up, you know, take one down and actually look at the inner workings, they're pretty simple actually. I didn't put the screw in all the way, screw or whatever. I'd say they're actually pretty simple now. Not all OTFs work the same. I know Microtech uses a couple different systems. I think they're Combat Troubadours. Maybe they're Combat Troubadours or they're Troubadours. They use a dual spring system or some BS like that. I don't know. The principle's kind of the same as how they all work. Like, the inner workings are slightly different, but the principle's there. And when, like I said, when you break it down, it's actually a really simple knife opening mechanism for as complicated as it seems. So definitely, if you want a more in-depth more in-depth explanation, there's a guy in here that has a really good explanation video and like shows you all the little details of how everything works and explains it really well, better than this like crackhead does. I'm not a crackhead, but everyone thinks I am. Might as well be. Orange Tic Tacs. My head, I'm basically cracked. So yeah, hope you found this semi-entertaining. I mean, nothing really fun happened, like I didn't slice my hand open. I was, to a certain point, worried that when I opened this up, the blade was just gonna come flying out, but I kind of had enough previous knowledge to know that wasn't gonna happen. But there's still something in the back of my head that was telling me that the blade is just gonna fly across the room and kill my brother, which would have been a plus. That would have been a definite plus, but unfortunately it didn't happen, so. Anyway, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next video.